So we'll start with our first profile. Okay, so our sketcher. So in this we'll study profile toolbar as the first toolbar. Okay, so in this I am going to select profile. Okay, so profile, in this, as I have selected profile, you can see a new toolbar has appeared with some different features on it. So I'll select this particular feature which is shown here. So as you can notice, in the backdrop of this interface, you can see these horizontal and vertical lines. These are nothing but the grids. So you can turn them off or on from here, as you can see. Okay, so and the next feature is snap to point. As I hover on to this 2D plane, you can see my cursor is always moving from one vertex to another vertex. It isn't moving in between, or it isn't moving to the gaps between the squares. When you turn off this feature, you can also move to the center or to the vacant spaces between the grids. Okay, so when I the use of this feature is when I select a line. If I want to draw a line from one point to another point, I can draw it by simply just moving it on the plane. But if my pointer is snap to point is selected, and when I select the line, and if I want to draw the line in between these spaces, if my final end point is in between this space, I cannot draw this line. Okay, so for that purpose we have to click off this feature, which is snap to point. So now when I select this profile, you can see there are some other features which also are present. So for example, I select by default this particular feature line is selected. So when you draw a line from here to here, from here, these two gets activated. These two are nothing but arc, tangent arc and 3-point arc. When we select the tangent arc, it will draw a line, it will draw an arc which is tangent to this line, which is tangent to this line with particular radius and with some high end points, which is at h height, and v which is at h distance from the y-axis, and v distance from the x-axis. Okay, so I'll give it a radius of 20 and enter. Now you can see as I've entered the radius has been logged, and now all I can do is increase the parameter of the arc, and I cannot change the radius of the arc. If I want to change the radius, I can move on to this particular entity, and I can change the radius. Then again the radius would be changed, but it is fixed as per our given radius, so we cannot change the radius, and we have to draw the arc, and we have to mention the endpoint. I'll select this point. So now as you can see, a perfect semicircle has been created which is tangent to this particular line. Okay, so this is our tangent arc, and now we'll move on to the third command or the feature, which is 3-point arc. 3-point arc is an arc in which we specify 3 points on the arc. First one, which has already been selected by default as we have selected the line. So this point is selected. Now we have to click on the next point which is on the arc. I can select that this line is a point on the arc, means this line and the arc meets at a point, which is this point. I'll click on it, and my next point is this line at which the arc meets. So as you can see, I have drawn the arc which is whose end one end point is at the end of this line, next point is on this line, and next point is on this line, and I have drawn the arc. Okay, you can vary these commands by using this. If you want to draw a line at particular angle, if you want to draw this line at 45 degree, you can select and enter 45 degree. Now the line is locked at 45 degree, and you can now enter the length, which is 140 or something, whichever you want. So I'll select 140, and the line has been created of 140 length, which is 45 degree angle to the horizontal axis. Now the thing to remember is in this particular software is that whenever you type in the angles, it will always take the angle from the horizontal positive x-axis. Okay, so yeah, or horizontal axis. So if I type in 270 degree, then it will take 270 degree from here up to here, up to third quadrant. Okay, so it will always start from this line. Okay. uh, Thank you very much. Okay.